All right. Hi, guys. I wanted to give you some information on our human genetics, genetic conditions infographic project. The goal of this is that you will be creating an infographic. You guys have seen infographics before. You may not have known what they were, but they're all out there. So, for example, I just typed into Google genetics infographic and it pulled up a whole bunch of different things. But you can see the goal of the genetic infographic is to use images to make really complex ideas and information more accessible, so easier for people to understand in a short amount of time. Okay, so it should not look like a PowerPoint presentation with a ton of text on it. The less text, the better typically. So there's a lot of examples. This one has a lot of text on it, but there's still some pretty big numbers that make it very clear what you're kind of looking at. So throughout the week, you guys have been looking at examples of good and bad infographics. So hopefully you have some sort of idea what that looks like. If you need a little bit more help or more suggestions, please feel free to go ahead and take a look at Google, get some inspiration. There are templates in the program that I'm having you use. So there's lots of different options. You are going to be finding information about the genetic condition of your choice. Now, in order to choose, you're going to go to the genetic disorder sign up, which is included in your lesson. And there are a list of about, I'd say 55 or so disorders. And each disorder can have up to 2 people talking about them. Now, that does not mean that these people are your partners. You're not working with them, you're working individually, but it just gives you it gives another person the chance to also research that topic. So you'll want to go ahead and put your name under the topic that you want. So go ahead, start looking some of these up. If you already know that you want to look at one of these, go ahead and put your name down for it so that you're signed up for that topic. And then that becomes your genetic disorder. So that's step 1, choose your genetic disorder from the list provided and sign up for it. Then you want to do some research. So I give you some information requirements down here. Now, this is a lot of information, and we don't want a ton of text. So you're going to have to be a little bit creative with how you present this information. So the first thing that you're going to do is the research and brainstorming sheet. So this is also in your lesson from the first week. You're going to describe the genetic condition, kind of what happens to it, a general overview of it. Tell me what chromosome is affected and what type of inheritance is it? Is it X-linked recessive, X-linked dominant, autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant, or is it a result of non-disjunction? We talked about all of these in our genetic disorders PowerPoint. How is the condition diagnosed? So how would a genetic counselor diagnose the condition? Does early diagnosis help? Why or why not? How many people have the condition? That's the incidence. Are there differences between gender, ethnic groups, that kind of stuff? What are the signs of the disease? So the symptoms. Can it be treated? If one of these don't fit, make sure that you say, like, it cannot currently be treated. It does not currently have a cure, something like that. And then prognosis. So what is the life of a person like with treatment, without treatment? Will the person die at a certain age? Something like that. And then try and look for support groups, either websites, pamphlets, meetings that work for these groups. Typically, most of these disorders have some sort of support group that goes with them. And then you need to include your sources. So you need at least 3 sources, okay? And Wikipedia cannot be one of those sources. Do not use Wikipedia as a source. You can use a lot of other things. The Mayo Health Clinic is a really good one. I'll find some other links and post them for some really good, reliable, research-based sources. And then you want to start brainstorming. So the big thing with infographics is that you're focusing on main ideas. So you'll notice that each one of these has kind of its own section, and it's kind of a main idea. With your research, you've already kind of chunked these, or I've helped you chunk them into main ideas. So now with the brainstorming section, The main purpose of an infographic is to use pictures and graphic images to help the reader quickly understand the information in your main ideas. So I want you to start thinking of how can you take the main idea that you figured out in this section and turn it into a graphic, make it into a picture, make it into something that's a little bit more visual, like a pie chart or something like that, right? So all of those are graphics. Main ideas will be things like that are separated out here. So the description of the condition is a main idea. The number of chromosome, type of inheritance, that's a main idea. Diagnosis is a main idea. This might be too much information, but you need to have, once we go into the rubric, you'll see you need to have at least 5 correct facts in your section, which you should have plenty of now that you've done this research. Okay, so main idea, how would you go from your main idea to a visual of some sort for that? Like, how are you going to show that in your infographic? Then once you're all done with that, you'll actually go through and make your infographic using pictochart.com. Now, when you scroll down past the requirements, you'll see the directions for how to use PictoChart. Just follow these. They're really, really simple. I'll give you some visuals down here. There are templates on PictoChart. I highly recommend you design your own layout to work with best for you, but if you need to start with the template, that's obviously fine. Okay. Now, your final product will be turned in on this sheet in the coming week. So you will put your name in, the period that you're in, and the disorder that you picked, and then you're going to link to your infographic. So when you go back to the original direction sheet, it tells you when you're finished, click share at the top of your screen, click the toggle to make your link public, copy the link, and share the link in this assignment. And then this is how you'll be graded. So I'll look at your main ideas. Are they very clear and understood? Do you have details that support the main ideas without distracting so they're not super cluttered? Do you have at least 5 accurate facts, concepts that are displayed in the infographic? Are the graphics that you use, do they represent the information correctly? Are they a good color, shape, size? Are they arranged properly? Is the design layout neat, clear, and visually appealing? Do you have any mechanical or grammar errors? That kind of stuff. That's what I'll be looking for with grading. And then you'll get a total out of 32, and this is kind of your scale. So everybody should be aiming for this 4 section. Once again, this will act as a replacement grade for a low test score, just like our meiosis activity did. So whatever your next lowest test score is, this can go in to replace that as long as it helps bring your grade up. So trying to get you guys to use a really cool tool that you could possibly see later on. Couple notes, make sure you're as thorough as possible. If one of the requirements does not apply to that condition, just state so. So say there's no cures at this time. That's important to know. And then remember, plagiarism is going to result in 0. You can't pull just directly off the internet. Make sure you put everything into your own words. You have to use pictures of some sort and make sure you cite your sources. And I've given you places that can help you cite your sources pretty easily. This is due April 22nd, 2020. So that'll be Wednesday of the next week that you guys are looking at this. So please let me know if you have any questions. That's the overview of our project. And that's all that I have for you. Thanks, guys. Bye.